Hello, hello. Welcome to Leap Taken. This is Mika, and here at Leap Taken, I talk about all things witchy, craft related, law of attraction, manifesting, esoteric, and everything else in between. And today, I am going to show you my way of doing my protective sigil that I'm going to put on this Dollar Tree little canvas board. Again, this is just from Dollar Tree. It's, you see how thin it is. This is I think this is the smallest one that they have. So I'm going to show you basically how my thought process and how I'm going to work it, how it's going to work for me. So yeah, just follow along. And if you'd like, if you're interested in creating something like this, pause the video, come back, go to the Dollar Tree. This is thick. And get you some paint as well. These are all acrylic paints that I got that I'm using. I am being like extremely creative right now. I don't have a specific, I have an overall idea of what I want to use. I'm really kind of I'm trying to share with you, and actually for myself, just kind of just off the cuff in a way, and going with what I think would represent protection. So first thing I want to do is paint this entire thing black. So that's first and foremost. So I want to paint it all black. So I put a big glop of that black paint, if you saw in there. And these are metallics that I'm using to paint over top, but I want the whole thing. Even this tray, Dollar Tree. So, there's really no excuse if you're like, oh, I don't have all that stuff. Now, I got the paint brushes. They sell paint brushes at Dollar Tree, and I use those, and they can get the job done. But I went to Michael's, and I got maybe a little tear up with the paint brushes, so that's what I'm working with right now. A Michael's paintbrush. They came in a pack, $9.99. That was my step up. And I'm going to lay this on thick because I don't want any of that white coming through. I don't want it coming through on the sides. This is a very intentional thing. I want it to just be black. You can buy black canvases, and they sell them, by the way, if you're interested. I might have put too much black on my little tray here. I might not have needed it all, but I'll probably do another project right after this, so it'll get used. It will get used. So I'm layering it on super thick, if you can tell, guys. I want very dark. The name of this black, by the way, I got this black paint from Target because I was in there and I knew I needed some more of my black acrylic paint. The brand is Mondo Yama acrylic paint, and this color is Fresh Pavement Satin Finish, and I'm digging it, actually. I've been getting my paints from Michael's mostly, and they have some good deals for $14.99. See, while I put it on a paper towel, I knew it was going to get messy. So I said, rather than have it stick to my little board that I use for the surface on the background, I would go about it this way. And I'm just making sure it's really saturated. I'm looking at it from a different angle, making sure I don't have any white spots. Like I said, I want to position. So I have a cup of water off to the side that I'm using. So now that we got the paint on, let's get our sigil drawn. So I'm just using some note paper that I have here. Excuse me. Can you move this off to the side? Let that dry a little bit because we're going to paint over top of it. But let's actually work on what's our protective sigil. So I don't know how much you know about protective sigils, but basically you write a phrase, you cancel out the vowels, you just are left with everything except for the vowels, and then you draw a symbol. So it's whatever you want it to be. You can just say protection. I am protected. We are protected. My home is protected. You can get very specific. This is your thing. Some people can make this, it's not a simple phrase. It can get very complicated. You can have multiple symbols. So let's get into it. So I think the first thing I want to say is Something I know I want to overall messaging like not good vibes only, that's so cliche, but more like a you know, I don't like to speak in a negative. This could be tough because I'm real, like I said, I didn't have anything in my head. I just know I wanted to do this. So I'm going to say, all that enters are for my greater good. Okay, so that's one phrasing. All right, I'm going to do a couple. So that's one. And then peace and protection always. I think I like this one. And then protected and loved. Remember, I can have several. There's a reason I'm doing them on separate pages. One, I just love this book. My daughter gave me this. Isn't this cute? Somebody gave this to her. Or just a notepad. And then I want to say, I will kind of go, no evil, no bad, peace only to be had. All right, so that's enough. So I'm going to start with this one because I start. So we're going to cancel that out, cancel that out, cancel that out, cancel that out, that one. See what I'm doing here? Sometimes Y, as you know, E, and then A. So that leaves me with N, V, L. I'm doing all caps now. N, B, D, P, N again, L, Y, T, B, H, D. So you cancel out repeating letters. So I know I got two B's, so cancel that one out. I know I already got a D. Y, yeah, I'm going to keep the Y. Cancel out the L, cancel out the N. And I think, yeah, that's it. So let's, what we have left? N, V, L, N, oh, duh. B, D, P, Y, T. Let me write that again. N, V, L, B, D, P, Y, T. So no repeating, right? So then from here, you can create your shape, you know, your sigil based off of N, V, L, B, D, P, Y, T. It all started from no evil, no bad, peace only to be had. You get it? So this is what we're going to be working with right here. So now you can start kind of playing around with some symbols. So I'm going to actually pull this off, pull another sheet off, put this over to the side. I need blank paper. And then, you know, kind of referencing this, we're going to go ahead and start, you know, practicing some stuff. You know, I did a video like this before, and those were for manifesting certain things to me. And I keep those on my desk. And yes, I do believe they're still working. So you can start with whatever letter you choose to. I think I'm going to start with a B. So I'm going to do like that. Right? And then that can still be the D. That B looks weird, but we're going to keep it going. And that could be your P. So I've already gotten rid of my B, D, and P. Okay? And now for the T, that's my T. And then my Y, that's my Y. And then for your L, this can be your L right here again. So I got rid of my L. And then for your V, that can be my V. right? And then my N, right. So that could be a symbol. Don't love it, but I like to play around with it. So let's try this again. So I'm going to rewrite this. That's why I wanted, see why I wanted that paper to keep going down, because I'm going to keep trying until it resonates with me. So this is what you want to do. So like if you need help with this, pause, get some paper, and let's get into it. Let's draw this. Then you can run to the Dollar Tree if you need to. All right, so let's try another approach to see how we like this. So let's start with the T. All right, so I'm gonna just separate this, put this in his own box, so it's done. So we start with a T, right? And then I'm gonna cross that out, and then Y, bring that down more, P, okay, and I can do D. Hold on, I don't want to go there yet. Let's do N. So that's our N. And then V. And then we have our L. This is our L, right? And then our B. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this B. It looks funny. D. I don't know if I like this, guys. That's fun. They all look weird when you do sigils until like you get the right path. So let's start with the N. So I will just keep going and keep doing multiple ones until it makes sense. So let me rewrite it again. N, V, L, B, D, P, Y, T. So I got my N. I can count that as a V. And then this is my L. And my B. And then my D. And my P, which I can count that as a P as well. And then my Y. This right here, like this, is my Y. And then there's my T. Right here. So that's a symbol that I can try. So that's one. And let's try this again. So let's start with the V. So I'll rewrite it again. This is like a very interesting creative process of trying to just get it right. And I will tell you this, like, this is for you. Like, if you're watching this, like, oh, she could have did this way, she could do this. How I'm going to tell you right now. What do you think? What do you think I'm gonna say? Do it yourself. Do it in a way that makes sense for you. You know. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try something different. I'm gonna do over top. Okay, and that's gonna be my D and my P. So I just got rid of my V, my D, B, and a P. And this is my Y right here. And then I got my T. Where I do my T? I'm going to do that right here. And then there's my L. I just did like that. Or excuse me, right here, that's my L. And then my N. Yeah, I don't like that either. So, and anyway, I'll just keep going. So I'm going to spare you guys the struggle that I go through. And when I'm going to just pause and come back, and then it'll be done. And I'm going to do my final one, and then you'll see. All right. Okay, so I've made a decision. I like this symbol. It's like, when you look at it like this, it looks weird, right? But it'll make sense. So I've used all my letters, and this is my symbol, and I like it. So this is my basis. So I have this. This is almost dry. It's partially dry. Just gonna kind of separate it so it doesn't start sticking too much to the paper towel. But yeah, this is pretty much dry. I don't care too much about the edges, but hopefully you're picking up some of the shading. So that's just about done. So I have my smaller, like skinnier paintbrushes that I'm going to use now. Ideally, if you let this dry completely, then you can draw on it with like chalk or something like that. You can use a pencil. You can use, like white chalk or something like that to outline first. And you know what? The more I think about it, I think I might do the same just to give myself a little bit of leeway here of doing this. I'm trying to find. Good. I have some silver chalk, so I think this will do. This will do. I got this actually from the Dollar Tree as well, this chalk. So I'm going to attempt to draw my symbol here. I've tried to draw it now twice, so let's see if I can recreate it. And this might get a little wet. That's okay. These are Dollar Tree. I can always replace them. So I have this symbol right here, so I'm trying to see. So first I'm going to draw my line down the middle. And remember, it's just, a little rough. I'm going to paint over this anyway. And whoop, that kind of got away from me, but that's okay. We're going to paint it. And then like so. Yeah, and almost forgot. And then we got this line here. All right, that's our symbol, right? Just gonna get any extra blacks paint off of here. All right, I feel pretty okay about it. I think I got all the elements. So now we paint. So I'm gonna use my little, it's kind of flat, but I have that one and then I have this one. So I think for what I'm about to do, I'm gonna use this one first. And I'm going to dip it in a gold. And let's see how this looks. I'm going to start from here. Let's see if we like this. For going up. I don't know. I don't know if I like how much I like it yet. It's hard to tell, right? Until it's done. And it's not supposed to be a skinny line or anything. It's not supposed to be anything because I'm creating it as I go. So it's not like, I'm a master painter here. This is, this is witchcraft. This is getting into it and doing, it's not even the best you can because you can't mess this up. If it looks a little janky, by, I guess, store bought looking like paint or something, painting, I don't know. Like don't hold yourself to no crazy standard. Just, this is about protection. Honestly, this isn't even going to be seen. This is going to be put away someplace. Like my witch's bottle that I was talking about, that's not on display. I mean, it's visible, but you have to really be paying attention to find it in my house. So, but it's in a place it needs to be for protection. This, along with several others I will be doing, will be in a place it needs to be for protection. Okay? This is not something, you can put this in your windowsill if you want, or you can make it even smaller, put it in your windowsill if you want just to, as a line of protection. Now I have my water. You might hear me off camera here. I want to get the gold off and I want to switch to red. Like so. Look at that. Okay, so I'm going to go. I'm learning to try to have a little bit more steadier hand. Guys, by default, it don't feel like that to me. Like my hand is not very steady. And this red is like blending in with the black. But that's kind of okay too. I'm making this probably more thicker than it needs to be, but it's cool. Because I'm trying to just get more color on here. I thought if I used a metallic, it would have a different appeal, different look, but I don't know. tis what it is. Like I said, this is all about protection. This is not supposed to be like artwork to look. I mean, it can look pretty, but that's not the point. Although I think if you are very, steady and like you got really good paintbrushes and decent paint to work with, and you're doing something like this, making it pretty is just like awesome because think about it, you can display it and people would have no idea the purpose of what you're displaying is this protective sigil. Also you can draw sigils in other paintings if you are getting into painting like I am, or I was going to say I'm trying, let me not speak like that, I'm getting into it, I'm not trying, I'm doing it. Then guess what, you can draw a protective sigil into that cute little painting you just did. But yeah, I'm just thinking, I'm talking to you guys, but I'm also thinking to myself, okay, this is protective. You can chant the phrase in your head right now that, you created this sigil for. Now, go ahead and chant it out, or just keep saying it. You can say it out loud. And then maybe add a little, as I will it, so it is done. As I will it, so it is done. Repeatedly. You can do that too. All right. So I'm going to turn this upside down so I can get this the way I want at the top. Because rather than try to struggle, why don't we just turn things around, right? Make it approachable, literally, so I can do it the way I want. So I am just about done here. So you're probably wondering, well, once you're done with it, where does it go? It goes, like I said, in a spot that I, deem the place to be for protective work. Also, before it goes there and after it dries, I'm going to do a bit of a ritual, adding basically lending energy to this, to activate it. That's the right word, to activate it. So I'll do that, and then it'll be ready to go, and it'll do its job. I'm going over some of the lettering or the whatever, the sigil, so that that black isn't coming through so much. But I wanted it to be black because black is like a protective quality. Black is absorbing. So, if something is coming in, some energy I don't want, rather than it making it to me or making it to my home, throughout my home, it will be absorbed and then repelled here, or absorbed and then repelled. So it'll be sucked in and then sent on its merry way back to where it needs to go, but not in my house, not on me and my person or anybody who I love and want protection on in my home. So that's how you want to think about it. If you are doing this type of work, now is not the time for you to be questioning whether magic works. If you want your protection spells to work, if you want your sigils to be activated and come alive, you cannot be battling with the idea of whether magic is real or not. This is not the time to have those questions. You can have those questions, but this is not the time to start contemplating whether or not it is or isn't. You need to believe that it's going to work. Otherwise, you're just doing an art project, which is in itself magic, but I'm trying, I don't know if you could see if it's coming in enough. I'm just trying to fill that in, make that a little deeper. I like the idea that this looks almost like blood. And if you wanted to take this up a notch, you could put some of your blood into the paint. You could definitely do that because you're using your life force, you know, as protection. So that's definitely an option if you want to go about it that way. I'm just going to deepen that B up at the top. But you can definitely do that as well. And if you have some other symbols that you want to put on, now's the time to do that because that black paint should be drying even more now. But yeah, you can go ahead and add little other symbols, pentagram, pentacle, if you so desire. Go ahead and put that on there. You see how I'm making it so it's kind of almost rising up? It's sitting up. I like that effect, you know. It's almost coming off the canvas. I'm making it a little bit thicker. I like the implications of that. You know, it's like it's texture and layering it, and I do like that for the purposes of what this particular sigil is doing. This is perfect to give it texture because whatever I'm eventually repelling to come into my home, you know, you don't know what should necessarily, you know, might be trying to get in. And at this time of year, you want to just reinforce and make sure you have all the protections in place. Make sure everything is to your standards, not mine, not anybody else's, not other witch, not what the books say, but to your standards of protection. Because if it's to your standards, whatever that is, develop your standards, then you'll actually feel protected. Get it? You know, you'll actually feel it. I want to feel energy off of this. I want this to feel like it has its own vibration. And sometimes a trick of the eye, you know, with the texture can give you that. Where it's like almost bleeding, you know. I like that because it, you know, it's like working with my symbolic blood. I didn't actually, well, you saw me. I didn't put blood in here, but I could come back and do it if I so choose. I mean, like I said, how you practice and how you go about this is totally up to you. I'm just doing as much as I think I need to do, and I'm putting this in my water off to the side. So here we go. Here we go. So this is my protective sigil. My color choice was purposeful. You need to find yours. Don't, you know, get too hung up on that. For you, it might be pink, purple, black background. Those colors might make more sense to you. Red and green, you know, orange. It's up to you how you want to do it. But this is how I chose to do mine. Now that I'm looking at it, I'm going to see if this paintbrush will do what I think it's going to do to make this a little better. Yeah. I just want to add a little bit more of that gold here. There we go. I just want to, you know, make sure it stands out. That's this symbol. I want this symbol to be very prominent on this canvas. You see, I'm not worried about no straight lines, right? I'm not worried about that. That's not the intention of what I'm doing. That is not the point of this. Like I said, it's supposed to be, in my opinion, I want it to look a little raw, a little rustic, a little homemade. That's okay, because it is homemade. It's with my energy and, you know, my by my hand. It should look by my hand. Now, if you are neater and you have a, like I said, don't like, I'm not saying that it's not real because it's neater. it's, it's whatever, but for me, that's what this represents. I'm filling in because I don't want the black to come through as much. So that's what I'm doing now. But I needed that to kind of dry a little bit to get this on here. But yeah, tell me if this is not, when you're doing this, if this is not one of the most relaxing things you can do. You can really let your mind drift doing like painting and drawing, coloring. I think those are great for kind of just turning off for a minute. But if you add a bit of intention to this, so you're not necessarily, you're turning off the sort of mundane thinking and you're turning on, that part that casts spells, that part of you that just sort of knows what to say and knows in a pinch to, add this other phrasing and, but, I mean, you got to trust yourself. That's intuitive magic now. But I'm going to leave it be because I'm comfortable with my work and what this represents. So, yeah, this is me. It's not neat. It's not supposed to be pretty. It's not, I mean, it can be, but in my world, it's not. It's going to do the job, though. It's going to repel. It's going to block what I need it to block. So that's the most important part to me. I want it to actually work. So let me go back to my original paper. And it was no evil, no bad, peace only to be had. Boom. That's my intention. So that's what I created it from. Let me know in the comments if you are into this, if you do stuff like this, if you're better at drawing or whatever, let me know. I'm just curious. And I know everyone doesn't do this, and I understand. I didn't always do sigils, by the way, either, but I have become very acquainted with doing these in my way. I like to be a little bit more creative. I've seen others, and they look different, but, like I said, it's how you want to do it. So share with me in the comments. Let me know if you're doing something similar or if this has inspired you to do something similar. I'd be curious to know. All right, so I'm done. I'm going to let this dry. Then I'm going to do my activation, and then it will be put where it needs to be put. All right, so that's all I got. Thanks for watching. Again, this is Mika. Leave taken. Please like, subscribe, share, and as always, thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.